Hi, sixth graders. Hope you're doing fine. I'm going to explain the vocabulary words for this week. So let's begin. So the first word is accumulating. When you accumulate something, it increases in size. Like in a winter storm, when it snows a lot, the water accumulates. So it becomes bigger, bigger and bigger. Here you have an example. After it had been snowing all night, Mark looked at the deep accumulating snow. So the more it snows, the more it's not like rain. Rain is going to flood, but sometimes it goes away. But snow, it doesn't go away unless it's very hot. But usually it goes up and it becomes like a mountain. Formation. Something formed or made in nature. So he looked at one tall ice formation. Formation is a form. So it could be made out of anything. It's something that is made by nature. Remote. Far from civilization or far away. When you are remote, you go to a remote place, that means you're out of the city. You are really far away, or you're really, like in the story, we are in very far in the cold. Industrial is relating to manufacturing. So anything that is, another example here, he was hundreds of miles from the factories of industrial cities. So like San Pedro Sula in Honduras would be the industrial city. You have more industries in San Pedro than in La Ceiba. So when it is industrial, this is the industrial city. That's where they make things. Everything that is, it could be clothing, food, packaging, anything. Environmental is relating to the environment. So environmental damage from pollution has spread everywhere. So when you talk about anything that is related to environmental, it could be, especially these days, it's not very good because people have been polluting a lot. And submerge is below the surface. So usually even fish submerge beneath the ice. So when you are submerged by something, that means you have water over your head. So it's like being underwater. So let's read the story called The Lost World. So the science fiction story about the exploration of the lost world opens in the early mornings after the spaceship lands. The setting is a world of the future that was destroyed in an environmental disaster. The explorers discover the remains of buildings submerged underwater. So remember here, they're talking about buildings submerged by water. That means there is a city underwater. As they continue to search through the remains of the once great industrial center, the sky begins to darken because sun shines for just a few hours each day. Leaves fall quickly, accumulating in large piles along the street. Many trees die before their eyes when the sun sets. The trees create a strange formation of twisted branches, only in the most remote areas beyond the city. Do the explorers find a single flower growing in the dust? So what kind of disaster destroyed the city? Remember, it is related to nature. So what destroyed? It was, when they talk about the future that was destroyed in and what? Remember, find disaster and you will find the answer. Why do you think the city is described as once great industrial center? So it was probably a place where they were what when you talk about an industrial center, when you have an industrial center, what do you have? Tell me the answer. What made up the strange formation that the explorer sees? So look at a strange formation in your text, and you will find the answer. We're talking about two words. What happened to the fallen leaves? They were doing like the snow, I explained at the beginning. And how would you identify the setting of the story? So explain to me where it takes place. It explains it to you at the beginning, pretty much. Of course, we're talking about a city, when, and what happened to it, and what caused it. So everything I'm telling you right now, it is a city, when, what happened to it, and what caused it. So these are three questions. Everything has to be, or else you will lose points. So this is the story for this week, and I hope you do well. Bye.